Hi there, my name is Adam Box. I'm the Education Director of Carousel Learning. Carousel is an integrated online learning platform that's designed to unify homework and classwork to improve your students' outcomes via retrieval practice. In this video, I'm going to show you around your Carousel account, and this video is for people with a gold or silver account, which is an individual account. Silver is the free version and gold is the paid version. Now, just so that you know, whilst the core quizzing features are available in the silver version, a number of the kind of main features, most powerful things that Carousel can do are not available, but you can always upgrade. If you go to the top right of your screen, if you've got a silver account up here, you can get 30 days free of gold. So I'd encourage you to do that. Now, without further ado, you're about to start your lesson. And let's say you're teaching your students, I don't know, let's say you've previously taught them about volcanoes and you want to give them a quick quiz to start your lesson off. So I go my land and water quiz. Where do I get this quiz from? More to follow. Don't worry, I'll show you. And I go into the topic list and I can see there's a nice one here about volcanoes, and I can choose. I want maybe 7 questions in my starter quiz, and I see all of these questions about volcanoes and eruptions and magma. I can choose, oh, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one, or I can pick them at random. I hit confirm selection, show now, bam, that's on the board as students are coming into my room or as I'm transitioning from one lesson to another. It's an amazing way to get students settled into a new lesson or a new kind of topic. It also allows them to do really powerful retrieval practice at the start, and it also gives me really rich assessment information about their understanding. But where do I get these questions from? So if I head back to my dashboard, I can see that I've got 3 main windows, 1, 2, and 3. Focusing here for a second, this is where my classes appear. So because you have a silver or a gold account, you have to upload your own class list. It's very easy. You just have an Excel spreadsheet, first name, last name, and you can upload them into here. But what I really want to, and we'll see more about this later on, but what I really want to focus on for a second is this area, my question banks, because this is the beating heart of Carousel. This is where you have stuff that you want students to learn, and this is where that stuff goes. What does it look like? It looks like one of these things. So you can see it says land and water quiz. I click on the 3 dots and I want to have a look at what that is. And I can see that this here is a series of questions and answers. And these are the things that I want my students to learn by the time I'm done with them. And here I've got questions on equator and poles and coasts and rivers and volcanoes and water cycle and weather and all of that. And essentially what I've done is I've taken my curriculum and I've conceptualized it as a series of questions and answers. And it's these answers that I want my students to be able to recall freely by the time I am done teaching them. One of the ways that I can get one of these question banks is by writing it myself. So I open up an Excel spreadsheet. It's very straightforward. I number everything and I just put questions and answers and topics, and I can just upload them straight away. But that does take a little bit of time. So if I want, what I can do instead is I can head into the community, and in the community I can find question banks that others have shared. So teachers from around the world have written their own question banks, and they've very graciously shared their own work, and I can add that myself. Alternatively, I can find what are called premium question banks. Now, premium question banks are ones that are written either by Carousel ourselves or by our content partners. So publishers like Hodder Education or John Catt Education, or resource providers like the Primary Knowledge Curriculum. So I head off into the community and I can see all of those there. I can see biology ones, I can see Key Stage 2, Key Stage 3, Key Stage 4, whatever. And I can say, all right, well, I really like this one, Key Stage 2 Science, or I really like this one, Biomes. And I can just add that to my dashboard. And then when I go into my dashboard, I can see it over here. Now, one of the ways we get this stuff, so the question banks is the stuff that I want to go into students' heads by the time I'm done with them. One of the ways that we do that is via the whiteboard, which I just showed you. Another way is by setting a quiz. So I go create new, and let's say I want to do a volcanoes quiz. I set a date when it's due. I choose my question bank, which was land and water. And again, I can pick my volcanoes and I choose a number of questions, let's say 10. I can choose if I want this one to be multiple choice or not. Not all question banks have multiple choice with them. If they do, I can set it as multiple choice or as free text. In this case, I'm going to do free text. And I'm not going to worry you too much with these at the moment, but when you get to them, you can always press the I to figure out what they are. And I'm now ready to assign my quiz. I click assign. Oh, I haven't picked the questions. That was silly of me. I pick the questions. I pick them at random this time. I press assign and I can choose my class and assign it. I'm not actually going to assign it because I don't want it on my dashboard. But once I have assigned it, it just appears over here like this. I want to get this quiz out to my students. So I click on this 3 dots. I go create link. In this case, I'm just going to open an incognito window. Let's click on that link. And I now see this quiz. And I'm going to log in as one of my students who's called Mia Fields, I think. There we go. Now, Mia sees two options. Now, remember, my question bank is in question and answer format. So the first thing Mia is going to see is those flashcards in question and answer format, like so, which is really nice. Now, I have to train Mia and all of my other students how to do this properly, because by default, they'll just flick through them as quickly as they can. So I have to teach them how to speak out their answers or how to write them down. Next card, next card, next card. Very good. And as soon as Mia or any student is ready, they can start taking a quiz. So have a look at my quiz. I can see I've got 5 questions. What is a tectonic plate boundary? Boundary between 2 plates, like that. At tectonic boundaries. Oh, I'm crushing it this time. Boundaries. What is a volcanic eruption? I don't know. What is magma core? That's easy. Lava, I know that one. And then finally, what is magma? And again, I'm just going to write I don't know. Now it's time to, I finished my questions, done 5 of 5, and it's time to mark. Now Carousel has 3 markers. Marker 1 is the computer. If an answer is obviously right, the computer tick marks it as right. If an answer is obviously wrong, cross, the computer marks as wrong. Once the computer is done, the student marks their own work. This is incredibly powerful. It's really, really strong self-reflection and self-assessment. They get to see the correct answer, they get to see their answer, and they get to judge whether or not it's right or wrong. Now, that's all well and good, but obviously teachers are going to want to moderate that by the time they're done. So when after the students are done, the teacher has the chance to have a look at what the student's done, and I'll show you that a bit later on. So I go mark quiz. Now, my first question is, this is what I wrote, and this is the correct answer. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong? In this case, I think I'm probably right. So I'll write, yes, I'm correct. Now here again, I've written at tectonic boundaries. The correct answer was tectonic plate boundaries. So I'm going to say, yeah, I'm good. Now when it gets this one, computer knows this is wrong. Yeah, I wrote, I don't know. Obviously it's wrong. It's got nothing to do. The question is 100% wrong. It's out. It's wrong. There's nothing for me to say here. When I look at this one, I got it word for word correct. So the computer says, happy days. Again, this one, I don't know, computer marks are wrong. I go to my summary and I have a look, and I can change some of these if I want. So I can change that to incorrect if I want. Otherwise, I submit. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm done with my homework. Now, my teacher then logs in, and they should be able to see when I refresh that now Mia Fields has done the homework. So it's now time for the third marker. That's me to get involved. I go mark quiz. Yes, I'm going to begin the marking, and I can see all of these responses here. That's ticked already. I'm just going to untick that quickly because I'll explain what that does in a minute. I have a look. I say, what is magma? I can see the average score. I can see what the correct answer is, and I can see what all my students have written. I know that Mia is wrong. I know that Nate is correct. Jim's answer, Jim wrote molten rock underground. Now, he marked that as wrong. Now, maybe I want to change that to right because he's written underground, his correct answer is in the mental. Or maybe I want to have a, depending on me, the particular subject I'm teaching, I might want to hold him to a higher standard. I say, no, that is incorrect. And I want to discuss that as a class. So I'm going to include that in feedback. I have a look at the next one. Oh, I'm happy with all of these. No problem. Nothing to worry about. I look at this one, and again, I'm happy. And I look at this one, and again, I'm happy. And I look at this one, and there's another answer that I want to talk about as a class, okay? Because I've got lava, gas, and ash all leave a volcano. And I've got this one, gas and dust and ash into the atmosphere. So maybe I want to talk about that one as well, because the student's written atmosphere, and I really, really like that. I then head over, and I do something really cool. I click on this button that says feedback. And this gives me some headline figures. So first it gives me an average score, and it also gives me a top score. That's really useful for me to know as a teacher. Now, in this case, because it's a really short quiz, it's just brought all of the questions. But anytime you've got a slightly longer quiz, it will bring the 2, 3, maybe 4 questions that students struggled with the most, that I can then present to the class and check if they understand now. At the bottom, I've also got those answers that I selected. So when we look at the what is the volcanic eruption, so I've got this answer, and this answer is really nice. It's really good. And maybe the student used the word atmosphere. Not all of my students use the word atmosphere. And maybe I want to emphasize that. Maybe I want to highlight that. So I put it up and I say, what is it that I really like about this answer? Why is this answer so good? Why is this answer so powerful? But I might also want to show this one, which is the one we spoke about with this word underground. Am I happy enough with the word underground? Do I want students to be using the word mantle? So I can display that to the class. We can discuss that as a group. So what we've seen is that I can quiz students via the whiteboard. I can quiz students via their homework. The last thing that I really quickly want to show you is something that, because the thing is, right, as soon as students have started quizzing, what I actually want to know is over time, how well are my students doing on those quizzes? And not just how well are they doing, but I want to know what things they're doing well on, what things they're doing less well on. So now when I go over to the whiteboard and I select the same question bank, then water, and I go volcanoes, and I pick 6 questions. Now, the first time I picked those questions, I picked them at random. But now I'm going to do something a bit more sophisticated, because the truth is, now that you've seen quizzing, you understand that in the background, as long as students have been quizzing, as long as students have been working, Carousel has been collecting data. It's been collecting data about the questions they've answered, when they've answered them, and the scores that they were getting. So now up here, you can see I can select the class, and I'm going to select this class. So this class, they've done questions. They've done questions from this question bank. They've done this topic. And I start to see these amazing orange bars appear. What do these orange bars do? They take all of that data, all of that information about student performance over time, and they crunch and they turn it into one single score. So I've got some scores that are higher, some scores that are lower. So, and what I can do is I can sort them low to high. What I'll do is I'll hover over one of these high ones. And what you can see is that this question has only been asked once before. That gives it 3 points, which is quite high, because once is really not enough time. I want my students to be being exposed to these questions more than just once. The last time they saw this question was 5 weeks ago, which was quite a long time. And the average percent last time they saw the question was 40%, which is pretty low. I want that to be a lot higher. So all in all, I get 3, 3, and 5 points, which is quite high. This question here, it's never been asked before. So students have never seen this question. They've done questions from this topic, they've never seen it. So straight away, boom, it gets 15 points. When I have a look at this one at the top, though, this one has only got a score of 1, because it's been asked 3 times before, which is, maybe I'd want it 4 or 5 times. So 3 will give it 1 point. It's a low score. But last time they did it was only a week ago. I mean, we literally just did it. And the average percent score was 100%. Every student gets it right. So now when I set my whiteboard quiz, I don't want to pick this question. It's too easy for my students. So maybe I'll pick this one, this one, this one, this one. And maybe I can see the average score is quite high. And maybe I'm a bit worried about their confidence overall. So maybe I'll pick a low one to bring that score down a little bit, like this. Okay, and I might pick 2, so I can bring my average score down to 8. So I've got a mix of really tough ones and really easy ones. Now, when I show them, I know that my students have really nice, challenging questions, things that they need to see. And maybe I might choose to put in a little blend, some questions that are a bit easier in order to build their confidence. I also have study packs, which is where I can take all of my question banks and send them over to the students, which is a really nice way to encourage independent learning, and especially in the run-up to an exam. So overall, I've shown you a lot of features here. And like I said, not all of these are available in silver, but you can upgrade for free for 30 days to a gold account. There are other features as well that are only available to our platinum account holders. So platinum is a department or a whole school account. And what platinum allows you to do is it allows you to share question banks. Well, first, it allows the classes to be automatically populated. Second, it allows you to share question banks between you. It also allows you to edit other people's question banks. So this question bank on biomes, if there's a definition you don't like or you want to reorder it, you can edit that yourself. So you can kind of tailor that and make it your own. There's also much more detailed analytics. So in gold, you can only see analytics for a particular quiz. You can see how the students are doing on one quiz at a time. But in platinum, you can see how they're doing across time in loads of different quizzes. And you can see it across different subjects and different teachers and different departments as well. So that's Carousel. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to be in touch. You can email us direct. There's a link in the comments below. In the meantime, happy quizzing.